have John Fisher and you have John Middleton.
Yes, the two Johns.
I mean, they couldn't get more polar opposite if they tried.
They did it. This group of Phillies has had a nice run. They haven't won a division title. They have now done that. So the Atlanta Braves go 6 years with a division title. That's gone. They might not even make the playoffs. They're playing the Mets starting tonight for a big one. But the Phillies are in. And they didn't have to stress much for the entire year. They ran away early. Remember, they had that insane start. And then they didn't play great ball for a few months, but it never got that close.
I thought they had already clinched. Like, it just seemed like they had already done it. I mean, I know, the Mets and the Braves kept it within like 7-8 game-ish. Didn't it feel like Kip had already done this? I mean, I know I watched the end of this game, but it felt like they had already done this like a while ago.
I think that's what he means, where it wasn't stressful. You had always just kind of assumed it was their division. I think when the Mets slow start and the Braves injuries, you kind of figured this would be their year to win the division, and they took care of business. This is another team that you expected to be here, kind of. And it's just with that lineup and the pitching staff, you just really don't want to see this team in the postseason. So they're a good one.
First division title since 2011. The reason why you would love them is they've been strong all year. They've got starting pitching. They've got star power. They've got pop in their lineup. They've got some speed. They play pretty good defense. They've got a pretty good bullpen, and they supplemented it too at the trade deadline with Banks and Estevez, Carlos Estevez, closing out games for them. And they got rid of like what they thought were the weaker links, and Soto and Dominguez dumped them both with the Orioles. But anyway, add all of that up. Kip, the problem for me still when I evaluate the Phillies right now is not the team, it's the National League. I think the National League is packed with teams that could shock people, upset, make a run. There's almost no team that's going to be in the playoffs on the NL side where I'd go, I can't believe they upset Team X.
No, there's a lot of X factors, but it's a deep division, deep side of the league. I think that's what you want, though. I think you want your best teams and your teams that have obviously the chances. It's fun to have the underdogs and it's fun to have the Cinderella stories, of course, to root for those. But when you have guys who you're not sure who's going to win, where you're not surprised if they win, it makes it for a fun playoffs.
It does. And
I'm very happy we have the NL this year, Fox.
Yeah, you've got, no matter what, a really
We're
good
getting
setup.
LA or Philly, so that's guaranteed. It's probably going to be Philly depending on how the brackets play out. But are you
That's
kidding me?
your series for DS, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Phillies. It'd be Phillies, maybe Brewers or Diamondbacks. I'll take that in a second.
Yeah.
Or even if the Phillies Mets, let's go, baby.
So that would mean the Phillies would get the top seed in that scenario?
No, because they don't reseed after. It's a bracket, so they don't.
Right.
So they would play the Milwaukee and then the last wild card winner.
Got it. Okay.
Right. So it's one of those two.
Yep.
So whoever, maybe Philly, Atlanta. Let's go.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Again, yes.
Mets are looking strong, though, in that spot. Unless the Diamondbacks keep falling apart,
Well, the
too.
Diamondbacks are 6 right now.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It could be, if the Diamondbacks beat the Brewers, then it could be Phillies, Diamondbacks. Travel would suck, but I've never been to Arizona to do a game.
That's probably
right
number
now,
one advantage in the playoffs, too. It's Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
That place gets wild.
Give me some cheesesteaks, hit the Reading Market. Ho, 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 ho.
And the ballpark does get nuts.
Oh,
it
awesome
stands out. You know, there's a few, but that one stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Their food is amazing.
Yeah. Now, we talked all about their home field advantage. It's different for them. Not last year. They still got bounced. They lost home games.
To the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. So what happened to the home field advantage? That's why I was talking to somebody who was a more casual bettor, and they were asking me, where to place money, and they were like, I don't really take the home field stuff into account for baseball that much. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, I haven't looked recently at what the records are, home versus road, but there's often times where the road team performs well. I mean, you guys have done it. You guys have played playoff baseball on the road. What's it like?
I mean, it's an advantage. It's not a guaranteeing you a win. It's still, you're able to lose. But I'm just saying, it's when it gets loud there, it gets a lot more loud there than anywhere else. And you start feeling the more pressure when, and AJ can attest to this, when a guy gets on first base there, it just seems like he's already on third base. And in the playoffs, when he just gets that kind of tight for the defense and the pitcher, when it's just that loud, it just feels like it's a lot more than it really is. So It's such an advantage. Yes, you can still win games there, but it just makes it that much harder.
See, I don't mind going on the road because especially if you had a good lineup and you could score first. Because if you scored first as a road team, it put pressure on the home team. I always felt like so, especially in the postseason, if you're the road team and you jump on a team like 1 or 2 early, then it's like the home team is like, and the crowd is like, all right, they're trying to get behind them, and they eventually run out of gas because they're trying to get them so excited for so long. Whereas now the home team jumps on the road team, like say you go 3 up, 3 down, and then the home team jumps on them, then it's like a completely. It always seems like it's like that.
Yeah, the crowd is quiet if they're losing, and they're nervous.
Yes,
and they go nuts if they get anything early on.
Yes,
even early strikeouts they go nuts. But if you're suddenly down 3-0 and you get a strikeout in the 3rd inning in a big spot, the crowd doesn't go nuts in the same way because they're still like, well, we need to hit.
Hey, FT fam, it's Alana Rizzo. I can't stop talking about Vuori. Vuori is perfect if you are sick and tired of traditional old workout gear. I wear Vuori in all settings, not just in the gym, because honestly, it's comfier than whatever you're currently wearing. No joke. I'm wearing Vuori daily leggings right now. They're high-waisted with the drawstring and cuffed ankles. They look good and they feel great. You're going to love them. Vuori is an investment in your happiness. For our listeners, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet at vuori.com/foul. That's VUORI.com/foul. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but enjoy free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Go to vuori.com/foul and discover the versatility of Vuori clothing.
And it's a rush. It's a great feeling to score early on the road. That's any playoff game, scoring first always makes it that much better.
Okay, so one last layer here.
I sure wish y'all would have scored first in 2016. Just saying.
Good to see you,
AJ. We'll get to Cleveland in a sec. One more thing on the Phillies. Ken Rosenthal put out his Fair Territory show today.
Did he call himself Dork of the Week again? He needs to.
I actually didn't get to that part. I have like 7 minutes left in the show because our show was starting. So I said, bye, Ken. I'll see you later. And we're going to talk to Ken today. But he did point out a story about the Phillies in spring training when Brian Snitker pointed out that the bye is BS and it can be hurtful. And they felt like they were getting cold during those time periods. And he said that the Phillies were ticked off. Like some of the big boys were sitting around talking about it, and they felt like it was wrong and a bad excuse and disrespectful to what they accomplished in beating the Braves. So now the roles reverse, and they feel like they have a chip on their shoulder. At least this is what they're creating in their head, to be like, us against the world. They say that the bye teams can't do it.
Listen. Poor excuse. I say this all the time. That's a piss poor excuse. Now the Braves got to get in, but imagine if the Braves get in, beat the Brewers, possibly, and then play the Phillies and beat them, and then they're like, "Ha, we told you." And then RC will be like, "Ha, Harper, good job."
And then next year everyone will be losing on purpose.
Yeah, everyone else will just be trying to get the wild card.
It's true. All right, we also have Phillies owner John Middelton addressing his ball club, and a nice little editing job here to make it TV friendly.
When we entered the playoffs, they said it was very difficult to get here. And to win a division is even more difficult. So congratulations on that. We still got some work to do, though. Okay? We still got some work to do. We want to get that bye. It's very important to us. So I want you guys to party tonight, but be ready to come here and play tomorrow. Now, last thing. I brought John in here. John, come on over here. Remember in spring training, the man said he wants his trophy back. We're going to get it for him.
We're going to talk about John Fisher, A's owner, later. That is the opposite.
By the way, it's so cocky of Rob Thompson to say, we're going to get it for you. Doesn't he know there's 5 other teams in the playoffs?
That's confidence.
Yes. No, that's just so cocky of the Phillies. I love that. Kip, you got to love that. I mean,
I think that's awesome.
The owner's in there saying, I want my bleeping trophy back? That's so incredible. And then they got doused.
Connection to the owner. When you feel a connection like all the way throughout the organization from top to bottom, it makes it that much more special to go on runs. And that's cool to bring him in and for the entire team to know what he's talking about, and everybody's on board with it. So that's a fun one. That was a great celebration.
That was awesome. Yeah, really cool to see it.
And you have John Fisher and you have John Middleton.
Yes, the two Johns.
I mean, they couldn't get more polar opposite if they tried. Buddy, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.